The Virtual Boys have been playing Nintendo since they were little. These many years of experience have made them experts in the field, or at least they think so. Join them this week as they talk about Get Your Arms! You're listening to the Virtual Boys podcast by Nintendo City. This podcast is done by four friends that talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Check out our website at nintendocity.com and be sure to follow us on your social network of choice. Please be sure to subscribe and share us with your friends. Oh, and please enjoy our show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Boys podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things. This is episode 59, and I'm your host, David Ramen. Joining me today are Skylar.
It's super time!
And James.
I have no idea what he's doing. Maybe that's what happened when you spend all time in your basement streaming video games and then skateboarding.
Eating too much macs and cheese.
Zooming around lightning fast with like snake arms.
Living in your grandma's basement, streaming videos.
Well, I don't know how he stays so quick.
That's it. That's exactly it. Anyway, this week we're finally going to give our audio review of ARMS. We, of course, have a review on our website, so be sure you go check that out at nintendocity.com/game reviews, where you can find a link to that. Anyway, nothing big happened this week news-wise, so we feel it'll be finally safe to review this game without having to worry about getting other content out to you this week. We'll talk about gameplay, maybe a bit of lore, and so much more, so stay tuned. But before we start, we just want to remind you to go check out our Patreon page, because these episodes are going up early as a reward for those that support us. Also, we just want to shout out to our partners again. Thanks, Nintendo Switch Network, for joining us, as well as Switch Nindy for helping us grow our site and for covering some cool news stuff. Be sure to check them out and start reviewing Switch games and learn more about Nindy stuff. All right, well, let's just jump right on into ARMS. Let's spring-a-ling and spring in.
Spring-a-leak. Get right on in.
Get right on in. So I just want to give a quick rundown of ARMS before we start talking about our thoughts. ARMS, is just a boxing fighting game that's made for the Nintendo Switch by Nintendo EPD, which was the team behind Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The game has characters with springy, extendable arms, which is really fun, and it uses motion controls like the Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort and Punch-Out and all that stuff. I believe that it was inspired quite a bit by Wii Boxing and Punch-Out, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
That's
I don't have any source from that. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for a rundown of ARMS. You don't need to know a whole lot about the game to understand what's going on, as long as you've been paying attention and just have kind of seen at least a little bit of it. So I just wanted to ask you guys some quick questions before we delve into individual sections. Is this game fun?
That is a very good question, because going into this, I was excited for it, and I felt like it would be fun. But it's not for everyone. I've come to realize that.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think there is like a demographic that it appeals to, and it is those people who enjoy kind of party games, and who also enjoy a lot of what the Wii had, which in itself is actually quite remarkable to be able to please that crowd. But then the Switch also has other games that pleases a different type of demographic. But besides that point, for me, it's fun. But I think it's fun for a specific type of gamer.
I think it's fun for me in small bursts. Like, I'll just play through like a match or something, or play with my siblings for a little bit and then put it down. It's hard for me to play it for a really long time. We'll say that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I do think that the game is a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of fun playing it. But when I play it, it's not like, okay, I'm going to run through every single character right now on one level through the Grand Prix or something. Like, now that's a little too much for me. I mean, I do love playing it for sure, and I totally agree with you, James, that it appeals to that audience that really liked those fun Wii games. But I have found that I've gotten the most enjoyment out of playing this game when I'm playing with others. I took the game up to my cabin for the 4th of July and played it with my cousins who have never played on a Nintendo Switch before. And even the 5-year-old was just super into the game. He was playing as Bite and Bark, his little robot buddies that he loved. And he was getting pretty good at it. And it was just so fun to play with him and watch with him. And my other cousins, of course, joined in. So I do think that the game is very, very fun.
That's a killer triple combination they got there. They got the dog, they got the police, and the robot. I mean, those are like kids' 3 favorite things.
RoboCop with a dog.
It's like, oh, I need this now.
Yeah, I literally scrolled over it and he's just like, my robot.
That's my robot.
Yeah. Whenever he had to fight against himself when we were playing together, because the first player is the one that goes through the Grand Prix, basically. Like, that's the character that wins. And he was second player with me, and we had to go up against Bite and Bark. And he's just like, no, not my robot. I don't want to kill my robot. It was really cute. So,
Get used to it, kid.
Get used to it. You gotta beat everybody up.
That's just life. You kill the things you love.
Right.
Well, that's kind of dark.
So, do you guys think that this is a good addition for your Switch library and even for the Switch in general?
I think I actually kind of answered this with my previous question. Which was my bad. I guess I kind of jumped the gun there, but yeah, I honestly think that it appeals to the type of player that Nintendo really got with the Wii, but who those kind of players who wouldn't be necessarily too interested in games like, I don't know, maybe Zelda. I mean, we know a lot of people have Zelda, but I mean, that attachment rate is ridiculous. But I don't know. I feel like it just appeals to a different type of crowd, and that younger kids, like you said, can play it. And so I think it is a great addition if you have these younger players in your home, and also if you like kind of the Wii boxing and Wii Sports type of games. I think you're for sure love this. If you got sick of Wii motion controls after a while, you're done with motion controls in general, and then this game is not for you. You can play without it, but I just think it appeals to that kind of fan base so much.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. How about you, Skylar? Is this a welcome addition to your Switch library?
Oh yeah, for sure. For a fighting game, it's a really good welcome addition. Certainly beats paying $40 for Street Fighter 2 again. But it's got about as many characters too. Anyway, I really enjoy playing the game. I hope they keep updating it. I want more stuff in the game. More people to fight. Now that you kind of after I had a lot of time with it, I kind of get the grasp on what each character can do, how to kind of fight back with them.
Yeah, and we'll talk about those different characters and stuff in a minute. So,
but yeah, if you're not a hardcore, I mean, it's not necessarily a hardcore fighting game. If you kind of more niche or more casual, it's perfect.
Yeah, I love having it on my Switch. I almost didn't get it, and then I accidentally got 2 copies of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for my birthday, and so we returned one of them and got ARMS pre-ordered instead. So I'm very glad that happened, because I really do like ARMS, and I think it's a great game. I wrote a review about it that we published on our website. I mentioned that earlier in the episode, and I talked about a lot of things, but we'll be sure to touch on those in the rest of this episode. So now that we've got some general impressions done, let's just talk about some of the gameplay. I especially want to hear your guys' opinions on buttons versus motion controls. What do you guys think?
I think this game is perfectly viable to play both. The motion controls, these are probably the best motion controls I've ever played with, for starters. The way it moves, the way it feels, it's seamless. The way you can block, the way you can... As long as you can get it down, it's perfect. It really does work. I still prefer playing with the buttons because it gives me that instant, push and everything. Yeah, the instant response. But the motion controls are completely viable too. I have no objections to these. These are really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't play with the buttons because I guess I'm just kind of afraid to transition to the buttons. I know. Why are you so afraid of buttons? I don't know. It's just no. It's motion control. I feel it just works so well, like Skylar was saying, and it's more like when there's a mistake, it's more user error than okay, these controllers aren't working. But the mistakes in general don't really happen very often, and which is amazing for motion controls. So, as far as buttons versus motion controls, I can't say. I've only played once with buttons, and it worked. And I can see people wanting to do that in the future. But at the same time, we have the producer of the game saying motion controls are the way to go, and he just dominated with them in that tournament. But anyway, personally, I like the motion controls, and I know you guys probably do too. But I think you could play either one and be totally fine.
I play mostly with motion controls. I don't know. There's something satisfying to me about punching my arm and then twisting it as the arm extends to get it to move one direction. I mean, I do that all the time with my grabs and punches and stuff. I mean, I know that's how you're supposed to play, but it feels so good to just see that type of response just as I like slightly turn my hand and get that cool curvage happening. I do think that the buttons are a great choice to go if that's what you want to play. I'd written down here in our show notes a point like which would you recommend to players, and I would say pick whichever one feels best to you. If you've played mostly fighting games with buttons, then yeah, go ahead and stick with the button approach. Maybe give the motion controls a shot, but I mean, if it works for you, it works for you, and I don't really think that we need to say that one is inherently better than the other. I mean, the developer of the game certainly can because he has way more experience than we do with the game. So that's what I would say. Give them both a try, and then just pick whichever one you like best. Would you guys agree with that?
I kind of agree with what you're saying. Both a try. I personally say give motion controls a try first. Yeah. And that way you can see, because they were developed with them in mind. At least I feel like they were. And just see if they work for you. If you're playing, you're just not getting into the motion controls of the game, switch to the buttons. It'll work just fine. But I highly recommend giving the motion controls the first try.
Well, I think that just solves that debate. Of course, if you, our listener, have anything to say about which one's better, feel free to leave us a comment and let us know. We're willing to hear what you have to say. Let's talk about different characters, mostly just from a gameplay standpoint. We don't have to talk about their lore just yet, just like character abilities, what they can do, and what works best. But first I have to ask, have you guys played as everybody? I assume the answer is yes, but I just want to set that precedent.
Yeah, I played everybody.
Okay.
Beat level 4 with everybody so far. I've been working on level 5.
Very cool. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play, so I only have like 2 or 3 characters up to level 4. But anyway, what's your favorite character to play as and why?
Well, I'm just going to say it right now. I love Kid Cobra. And that's probably, I think that may be a fan favorite. That or Ninjara. I'm not sure. But I love Kid Cobra to death. I just love his speed and his moves. And obviously arms, you can technically get any kind of arms for a person, but I love the slapamanders for him. They really work really well. I also love his design, and I think it's really cool. That's why it's my favorite. I guess I kind of went with design on this one.
Well, that's totally fine. How about you, Skylar? Who's your favorite character to play?
It depends on my mood. There's so many characters I really like. I really digged Master Mummy in the beginning, just because he can body shots, and then he can deliver sick blows and stuff, and he can heal himself, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Max Brass is pretty crazy with his 2 abilities. It's pretty nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But Ninjara's fun for a really speedy character. I enjoy him a lot.
Yeah.
Bite and Bark for the defensive game is amazing. Same with Min Min. I don't know. There's a lot of characters I like. They're the least favorite character I have.
Who's your least favorite?
Which is Spring Boy. I hate Spring Boy, but I don't think his design's interesting. I don't like his backstory. His arms are kind of vanilla. I don't.
I thought it was funny that you called him Spring Boy because, I mean, his official name is Spring Man, but I do the same thing. I'll either call him Spring Boy or Ribbon Man. Like, just on accident, it just comes out. Yeah. I don't really like playing as him a whole lot. I do like how he has that rush ability at the end, where when he's down to a quarter of his health left, his arms are always charged. I think that's a pretty useful ability if that's how you like to play.
Max Brass has it now too.
Yeah, so I guess I could just switch over to that. As for myself, my favorite character is Min Min. I mean, I've talked about this before. I love Min Min. She's my favorite character because I like to be able to move around fairly quickly. I mean, I know that there are faster characters than Min Min, but I also really like her kicking ability where she can kick away arms with her dodge. I really like that. Plus, I also really like her dragon arm, where if you charge up for just long enough, her left arm stays charged longer than her right arm, and you can get a couple of hits out with it. I think that's pretty useful to use. You can go in for a short jab with your right hand, and then hit with the more powerful attack in your left hand without really needing to charge directly before that type of a combo. Mm-hmm. I think that works really well for how I like to play. That's my favorite character. Of course, I also really like playing as Mechanica. Like, I think Master Mummy's cool.
Mechanica's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like Mechanica.
I prefer Mechanica over Master Mummy for a heftier character that can take a few hits. She's not as good as Master Mummy as taking those hits, but I like how she can use her jetpack to move away fairly quickly and hover in midair for a few seconds. I really prefer the mobility characters. Kid Cobra is really fun for me to play with, and so is Ribbon Girl because I can do that stuff.
I've never had a problem taking down Mechanica.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mechanica is just kind of bulky. She's a stereotypical Korean character, and it's like, eh.
Right. When I'm fighting against her, I have no problems.
She's Japanese, though.
She's Japanese?
She's speaking Japanese.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh. What's she saying, James?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really... I don't remember, but...
Wow.
That's right. Wow. No. She was saying something else. I swear.
I thought she was Korean because I thought they were going for an Overwatch. Girl in a robo suit,
pulling a diva,
basically.
But I think that the character is a lot of fun. Do you guys have any characters that you'd recommend first-time players to give a try first? Like, if they haven't touched ARMS, if they didn't play the test demo or the test punch, whatever it was called, which one would you recommend for beginners?
I don't know if I really recommend one, to be honest. Just because I'd say play them all and figure out the one that works in your style. Maybe if you don't know which one to try first, pick the one that looks the coolest or the one you like the design best. Maybe you're a 5-year-old who loves My Robot, so go play Bark and Bite or Bite and Bark, whatever. And if you like, French movie stars, go play Twintel.
If you like the spoof character, play Helix.
Yeah, Helix is a lot of fun too.
Helix is so funny. He is so funny.
Yeah, Helix is actually what my sisters play as most. Like, it's really weird. My sisters, both of them, choose Helix whenever we play together. And I'm like, all right, he's a great character. He's fun. And I've swapped out his default arms because I don't think that they match his playstyle at all. Having the really slow blorb and then the shield one together, I don't like that. So I've swapped him out for something fast.
I always do double blorb with him.
Really?
And I just blind everybody. It's so great.
It's a pretty good, pretty annoying, but
he is the joke character. I mean, you gotta be the jokester with him.
You're blind now.
Bop bop. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I really like him. He was so weird when they first revealed him. I was like, I don't know, but he's a great character.
Amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Just pick a character that you like, really, and just give it a shot. Get good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about the blorb. Have you guys adjusted any of the arms on your characters like I did for Helix? Like just swapping anything out for different combo sets as you've earned the different arms?
I've adjusted some of the people's arms. In the way of Master Mummy, I replaced his big purple megaton with the megawatt. I prefer the megawatt.
Yeah.
I like the electricity. Zaps them, stops them from moving, kills their arms, and then you can just go in for the grab for 200. It's freaking great. But
yeah, that's a fun combo. I like to do that with Min Min quite a bit. Just electrocute him and then just grab him.
Megawatt's awesome. I also tend to prefer the characters who combo well with their grabs too, especially if the grabs do a lot of damage. Because, oh my gosh, you can really rack up some pain.
I haven't actually experimented with a lot of different arms yet for the different characters. I've just been kind of sticking to what they got. I mean, I obviously need to, but I mean, I just really like my Slapamander on Kid Cobra right now.
Slapamander's fun.
It's a lot of fun. As far as elemental goes, I don't know if I have a favorite. If my favorite may be electricity.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. Sets up some good combos.
Right. I mean, electricity is my favorite elemental type, and I also really like freezing people because they can't jump out of the way or dodge as fast as they normally can, and so then you can hit them with something else. I haven't really played around with a whole lot of the other elements. I just am like, oh, I like electricity and I like ice, so that's what I'm going to go with. So maybe I'll give him another shot. I know I don't like the fire ability as much. Like burning the people, I don't see how useful that can be. I mean, maybe I just haven't done enough research.
Personally, I think, and this is just what I've seen, is that if you can have like that kind of flitching ability, like, you know, make them pause like ice for electricity, then you come in with the fire one and do the explosion, and then it sets him back and puts him on the ground. I feel like it kind of sets up for that, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not a professional arms player, which I'm sure there are right now.
Yeah, they actually had the first big tournament last weekend. I didn't watch any of it, but they had it. They had a tournament, and I heard it was pretty crazy. So
I mean, they have professional Shrek slam down players. They have professional arms players. So I
thought you were about to announce Shrek for arms, and I was like,
whoa! Shrek's now a playable character.
Get out of me, swamp!
He hits you with onions that do poison damage.
Ogres are like onions.
Yeah, bears. He just woke up one morning, you know, in his swamp, you know,
just
after sleeping with Fiona, and just boom, he's got sloppy arms, and he's like, what
do I do with this? Come to our, you know, tournament to the death. You know, punch people with your garlic arms.
All right. And then you get down on me swamp.
And then we know he's a great fighter because in the first movie, he just completely wails on all of those knights, and so I'm sure he'd be a fantastic character.
Yep.
I do think that the arms offer quite a bit of variety to arms itself. I mean, of course it would. I'm such a redundant speaker sometimes when it comes to these things, using the actual words to describe things. But anyway, like being able to just choose is something that I really, really like about arms. Like, I hate the vanilla arms on Ribbon Man. I'm going to change that up, you know? Like, get something useful going on these characters that I feel fits my playstyle more. It makes them much more adjustable, so...
Did you say Ribbon Man?
I don't know. I told you earlier that it just comes out, whatever it is. I meant Spring Man.
Spring
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was on purpose or not, so I was like, wait, did you... I should just let it slide. My bad.
No, it's okay. Maybe, I don't know. My brain has been doing that. My sisters catch me on that all the time. And it's only ever Spring Man that I mess up. Like, anyway, it's weird. So, yeah, boing, spring-a-ling.
Oh, gosh.
Yoing.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Yoing.
This is so stupid. worst catchphrases ever.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the modes that are in the game. Of course, we've got the standard fighting one where you're in an arena and you beat people up. But we've also got, volleyball and basketball, the target practice one. I can never remember their official
Break
names.
the targets.
Yeah. Go! Which ones do you guys like playing other than fighting, of course? Like, what's your favorite? Let's just talk about that.
I right now Hoops is my favorite. I haven't really had too much trouble beating the CPU with Hoops, but I still enjoy it every time. V-Ball, I don't know. I'm trying to get used to V-Ball, and I'm slowly getting better at it. But the one that I hate the most is that target strike one, or break the targets, or whatever.
Targets is pretty lame.
It is lame, and I'm just not very very good at it. My aiming is just, it shows you how bad my aiming is.
Well, it's
and
random
no way I could be a
sometimes.
professional.
It's random where the targets pop up. Like half the time they just show up where the computer is and they're not on my side. It's just like, well,
right.
There goes all my
points. It seems like the computer, yeah, and it seems like the computer is like already putting out its punch,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though the target it should know where the targets are, but whatever. I mean, it's frustrating, especially in the higher levels when you're trying to get level 4, level 5, or whatever. But
yeah, it took me several tries to beat those, and it still does. So
yeah, volleyball's fine. Basketball's probably my favorite out of the three, but they just feel like filler modes, just to keep the monotony, out of the game. Let you do something different.
Which it definitely needed. Like with the Grand Prix, I imagine we'll talk, or maybe well, I'll just mention the Grand Prix real quick.
Yeah,
and how,
good idea. I forgot to write that down.
It's nice to be able to play against all the characters, but it does get kind of slow and monotonous. And I'm glad they put the hoops and the V-ball and whatever, but unfortunately it does suffer from just the lack of variety, I suppose. And maybe it's just the length. Maybe 10 matches are too much. Maybe 8 or 7. Maybe that would be better.
That's what I was feeling from the beginning. I always thought that 10 was just a little bit too long.
Right.
But I think they wanted you to fight every character, kind of like the old Super Smash Brothers did on the first one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, guys, I don't want to spend an hour on one arcade run.
Exactly. It takes so long to get through that. I don't think Classic Mode and Smash took that long, did it?
No, Classic Mode and Smash took about 15 minutes in the original.
I mean, maybe if you were to play in the higher level, but level 1 in ARM shouldn't take an hour or 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
It just seems a little long, and part of it has to do with the transitions to each character. It just takes a while,
Yep.
But
whoa.
Max Brass.
And then Biff has to give the explanation every single time, even when you've heard it.
Oh, I take it back. He's the worst character in the game.
Biff. I don't like Biff.
Biff is the worst.
I like Biff. I'm very grateful that Biff doesn't have a low-pitched voice in the game like he did in all the directs.
I still hate his voice.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Biff. Like, I feel like he's
real quick, I don't understand how he fits into the lore of the game. Why does he have an actual hand on his head?
Well, I mean, Max Brass has a hand on his head, but I mean, he takes it off and stuff. But
right, it's part of his helmet, right?
Maybe it's a wig. I don't know.
Well, he opens it. Like, he opens his hand and waves at you with it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly creepy. Biff needs... I wouldn't be too put out if he just didn't show up anymore. Like, it'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean...
Creepy announcer Biff.
And so he doesn't help at all with the pacing of the Grand Prix. I mean, and that's the thing about it. Like, the Grand Prix is nothing more than just going through the characters and then being able to be able to play on ranked matches. Yep. It's slightly not disappointing. I guess just a little off-putting. You know, it's not the funnest way to play, which is sad because you want both the online and the offline to be fun. And it looks like this game just really requires online or multiplayer play, whether offline or online.
Yeah, that's the only way I play the game now, is with my brothers or someone else. Which
is totally understandable. As someone who can't really get another person to play with me, it's hard to go through the single player campaign. I still enjoy it, but I can't. Aside from like when I first got the game, it's hard for me to do multiple Grand Prix at once. Yeah. But that's
absolutely
that's my thoughts on Grand Prix. I'm sure they could have done a little better, but whatever.
I like Grand Prix, just not enough to play it 4 times in a row. Or maybe even 3 times in a row. Like, it took a lot of effort for me to even do the first run through of level 1 with everybody. Yeah. But yeah, gotta get everybody up through level 4 now.
I think I've only played through Grand Prix probably a couple times by myself. Every other time has been with like Mason or someone else.
Nice. I've done that a lot with my sister Dorothy. She and I play quite a bit. So I mean, it's nice.
I just can't. For some reason, I can't get anybody to play with me. It's just like, come on, it's a fun game. I think they have like, yeah, they're there, but you know, I don't know too many people out here either, and so no one's willing to come out and play the Switch with me. But it's like, you know, yeah, like you said, my brother and sister are here, but I think maybe they have horror memories of me playing Wii Boxing. I don't know. That game was super frustrating. My brother's a little dramatic when it comes to that kind of stuff, and he'll probably listen to this and he'll probably be really upset about it. But whatever. As someone who's just really playing the game by himself, it's nice that the online functionality really works well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey everybody, it's your friend David. I'm just hopping in the middle of the episode like I normally do just to give you a commercial break. Except that this isn't a commercial break because we don't have any commercials. Anyway, I just wanted to draw your attention to our Patreon page, or Patreon page, however you actually pronounce that, because I'm pretty sure it's Patreon and not Patron. Anyway, at patreon.com/Nintensity, you can choose to donate just a little bit of money to us each month, and honestly, it goes such a long way to help us out. We know that, you know, money can be tight for a lot of people, and we would really just be ever so grateful if you could just spare us just a little bit of money. By donating $1, you get a look at some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, as well as some posts and polls about things that we can do to further our show and our website. You'll get some behind-the-scenes looks on what the timelines look like when I finish editing these episodes, because sometimes that can be really fun, and other cool little things that we are still trying to work out as we get more patrons. Also, I just wanted to say that our $5 a month patrons get early access to these episodes. Now, this episode went up a day later than I wanted it to, but that's because a little emergency came up, but I won't get too into detail with that. Just know that I'm doing my best to get these out to you early as part of our rewards for our patrons. So if you just check out patreon.com/Nintensity, there's also a link down in the description, you'll be able to find these rewards and be able to get immediate access to a private RSS feed if you donate $5 a month, or however much you want to spare and send our way. Every amount would be greatly appreciated and will help us keep the show alive and moving. I also want to draw your attention to our website, Nintensity.com. While you're there, you can check out some of our reviews, some of our opinion articles, some of our features, and you can read all about the stuff that we're interested in. We've been posting news quite a bit lately. Because we're such a small team, we post only the most important news, so you can check that out for some of our thoughts on that, and we try to make it a bit more personal. We call ourselves Nintensity, and one of the reasons behind that is because we want to be more of like a community forum or a town square or something like that, where anybody can come and share their thoughts. And speaking of anybody coming and sharing their thoughts, if you want to write an article or join our news team or share a theory about something, come to our Discord. You can find that by going to nintendo.city/discord, and that will throw you right into our server, and you can just hit me up and chat with me and tell me what your idea is, and we can get started on writing the article. Or, of course, you can just email us at contact@nintensity.com. Speaking of email, if you want to send us your listener questions, which we're totally happy to answer, we just haven't been asking people lately, you can send us your questions at podcast@nintensity.com. That goes straight to us, and we'll be able to see your questions and put them in the queue to answer in the show. We'll be sure to shout out your name and all that other stuff, so send in your questions. We're happy to answer them. Be sure to check out our Twitter and our Facebook pages. Both of those handles are Nintensity. If you tweet or post about the show with #virtualcast, that would be greatly appreciated. We don't have the budget to spend any money on advertising because we're still trying to pay for hosting and all this other stuff for the website. So spreading this show and spreading our website by word of mouth really helps us grow and helps us, reach more people so that we can improve the quality of our show and keep things going. I'm not going to keep you for very much longer. Just remind you to check out our website and be sure you read the footnotes. I put lots of information about the episode in there, including timestamps, links to all of our places where you can find us, and all those other things. Oh, and before I let you go, it would mean a whole lot to us if you checked out our page on iTunes and gave us a review. One of the ways that iTunes checks the quality of shows is through user reviews, and that helps put us in the algorithms to get the show out there even more. So if you could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. Of course, you can always just tweet with about the show with the #virtualcast and one of the links to one of our show notes. Anyway, I just want to remind you that the show notes for this episode are nintendo.city/EP59. And that's pretty much all I have this week. The next episode will be up next week because we are a weekly podcast, so stay tuned for that. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of ARMS, and I'll let you get right back to it. Thanks. I wanted to talk about online a little bit. So I haven't played any of the online yet because I've been really busy with a lot of stuff. Oh, really? Yeah. I played it in the test fire. I think I did party mode once or something like that and just backed away because I was I don't really want to right now. I haven't even played Mario Kart 8 online yet. But
that's more understandable than ARMS. Come on,
I should play online on ARMS. I really should. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow or something. But
yeah. I'm the kind of person who prefers playing with someone else in the room. I played online a little bit, but it's not the same as having somebody in person.
No, I totally agree. At least for me.
Right. So, what's the experience like online? Is it a lot like the test fire? I'm just asking because I don't really know.
It's exactly like the like that demo. The room is the same, and you get put in random matches with people,
right.
just like the test punch. I find it really enjoyable because you never know what's going to come next, and you get the different kind of battles, and sometimes you get paired with these people who keep owning you, and that may sound like it's a bad thing, but in hindsight, it's kind of funny because you can move your icons in the room, and you shake them different ways, and they make noises. And so I do that a lot to communicate with people without voice chat, kind of a thing. And so if I see I'm connected with someone in the party or whatever, I start shaking my head, no, just kind of noise, and then they start shaking up and down, yes. And anyway, it's really funny, but it helps me become a better player, and I don't know, I still find it a lot of fun. I find it funner than ranked matches, just because the pressure's gone, and as much as I like to be competitive, I'm just not very good. I'll be honest. I'm not extremely good at ARMS. maybe if I had more practice, I would be. But it's not the same as playing Smash or even Splatoon. I feel a little more. I feel even more comfortable of my skill level in Splatoon than I do in ARMS right now.
I haven't tried ranked battle. I'm not interested in ranked battle. I'd rather just fight to have fun instead of fight for points. I don't like it. I don't like fighting for points. I prefer just playing the game.
I can see how it takes the enjoyment out, but I can also see how people would really enjoy it. So I guess it just depends on what kind of person you are.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing with Splatoon and Smash Brothers. I never play ranked anything on those games. I just play to have fun. Yeah. I hate playing those games for competition's sake.
Yeah. See, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. Well, I haven't really the past couple of weeks, but I've been playing a lot of Season 5 of Overwatch is ranked. Like, I'm not that good, but there's something just so thrilling about playing on a ranked team. You know, like, I mean, I really like that. Of course, I haven't done it with ARMS, and I don't do it with a whole lot of other games, but I do think, well, hang on, let me rephrase that. I understand why a lot of people like to play ranked battles and ranked battle modes and all of this other stuff with ARMS even and Overwatch and all of that stuff, because it's really fun to see how you improve as you get those higher and higher levels. But I also completely understand why a whole lot of people don't play those modes and just play to have fun. Like, I've played through some quick play and arcade matches in Overwatch, which are the non-competitive versions of the games, and I look at players' profiles and they haven't logged a single minute in the competitive stuff, and they're like level 600. So these types of games appeal to everybody, you know? Like, if it's got a good ranked battle, people will play ranked. If it's got awesome local multiplayer as well as awesome online fun rooms, the party mode and stuff, it works perfectly for all of these different types of players. And I think that's the key that they've gone for, is get it to work for everybody that wants to play. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are my thoughts on online play and playing ranked battles. Is there anything else about gameplay that we want to talk about? I'm not sure if I've missed something or not.
I don't think so.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So we talked about the Grand Prix. We talked about all of the other different modes. We've talked about online play. We've talked about how different characters play, which ones are our favorites, and whether we like buttons or motion controls. And I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with gameplay. So, all right. Let's jump into something a little bit more on the fun side, I guess, like the more interesting and weird part of ARMS, and that's the lore. Like, I
don't know. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, like, just a little bit. We don't have to talk about it for a whole long time.
No. We can talk about it. It's just
okay.
What are you gonna say, David?
Well, I think that the ARMS lore is so weird. Like, it's got all these little tiny tidbits of, oh, there's really something else going on here, and oh, these characters have all of these their own reasons for joining into the battles and stuff. But then it's like, who the F is Headlock, and why is he suddenly appeared, and all these other little things. And even on Twitter and stuff that's not within the game itself, they've said, oh yeah, springy arms, well, they started happening a long time ago, and it wasn't until recently that they made these masks that let them control them. And they show all these images of super miserable people with springy arms that are just all on the ground. And I don't know. It's just such weird stuff. Do you guys like these little bits of lore?
I think the lore in this game is completely superfluous, just like any fighting game. There's like, oh hey, there's a pop star who dresses like a teenager now. Why not have a movie French lady in here? Whatever. It's just like, what's a really cool fighting character we could make and just throw him in? This is basically what it comes down to.
Well, exactly. I mean, the design of these characters come first, and then what makes them weird comes later. And that may be the case for a lot of games, but that's particularly true for fighting games. And the world that they're in is just kind of, a second thought kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah,
I agree with that. And
then there was this laboratory that birthed the Helix. Like,
yeah, I mean that became a stage, but honestly, I don't think they're ever gonna go any deeper into the lore per se. I mean, heck, there isn't even a story mode. Splatoon had a story mode. Like, you know, like I'd argue that Splatoon's world and lore is a lot more thought out, a lot more important to the whole game itself. Whereas this is just kind of, I don't know, just kind of fun little tidbits to make the game interesting. Just like Street Fighter.
Right. It makes the world feel more alive. Like, oh yeah, there was some thought behind this stuff, even though their main focus was the gameplay and the uniqueness of the characters.
To me, it's like a 10-year-old telling a story. You know, just kind of like, and there's this robot there too, and he has a dog, and they fight with their arms, and like, oh, but there was this one French chick who comes in with fights with her hair, and like. It just kind of feels
when you say it like that,
it just that's what it feels like to me. It's like
suddenly makes sense.
I mean, it's like I'm talking to my little brother Evan, and he's creating superheroes. That's just basically what it comes down to. Which she
has hell.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean,
right?
No, but at the same time, it's not super deep. Like, I don't know. It's just there to be there. They're having fun with it. That's pretty much it. It's not serious or meant to be taken as such. So
right, and I
agree with that.
I don't expect anything to go any deeper. Maybe they'll talk about headlock or whatever. They have that mini game, or not the mini game, like the new fighting mode with headlock, where you break, basically you just try to get it on your head so you can win before the other player does.
Right,
but it's, I don't know, like. It doesn't really have to be explained other than the fact that it's like a super OP weapon.
Yeah, all they talked about was at the end when you beat him is like some breakout at ARMS Laboratories, and then it cuts off, and that's pretty much
right.
it.
Yeah, Biff is about to like explain a little bit more, but then he gets cut off by something. So
Headlock blasts off of Max Brass's head or something.
He's like, "Oh, whoa, where'd it go?"
I mean, the mode's a lot of fun. Like, right. I've played it, but it's just, I don't know. It just seems like they're not going to go very far. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll explain what headlock is, or maybe they'll just, or maybe they'll just keep it at it escape from the laboratory. Have fun, kind of thing.
He's here. Fight him.
I don't okay, can do.
Yeah. So. Aside from all that, and I'm sure they're going to bring more characters in that are going to have their own little odd things about them. But aside from what we've already mentioned, there's one bit of world explanation that I don't think really works, and that's the masks, because they mention how, at least they imply in a tweet, that the masks, when you take it off, or putting on the mask, makes your arms extendable, makes them be able to control control how far they go or whatever. But so when they take the masks off, they don't have that.
Well, that's funny. That's funny too, because have you beat level 4 with Max Brass?
No, not with Max Brass. No,
I haven't yet either.
He takes his mask off.
What?
But
what do his arms do? Do his arms?
Little picture, they're still springy. I don't get it.
I just don't understand it, man. Because there was recently that wallpaper of Min Min that they released on My Nintendo.
Yeah.
Didn't she still have her mask on?
I think so. Yeah.
Her arms are normal. Like, they're not like, the stretchy for fighting. So I don't.
Right, and they had an image a few weeks or something ago of Ribbon Girl signing the autograph with regular arms.
Yeah. So
does she still have the mask on?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I think she had the mask on. I don't know if I've really seen them without their masks. Maybe I have. I can't remember, but. It's I just think it's like that's kind of one inconsistency where they're like, sure, lol, we'll explain the whole masks thing. I don't know. I think honestly, this game is, while it is a little quirky in a sense, I think it's just I don't know. It's hard.
Right.
I think Skylar said it best. Like it's just a typical fighting game.
Right.
A little something extra.
Right.
Yeah, I totally.
It's
agree
just
with
not
that.
as important to the whole thing. But
No.
maybe
I still think
maybe
it's
if
fun,
people
but-
if you find enjoyment in it all, sure, have
Yeah,
fun.
I like getting the little pieces and just trying to see how it all fits together, even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's just me. So yeah, I totally agree though. The lore is secondary to the game, and it's really obvious.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to talk a little bit about the music and sound direction of the game, just to see what you guys think about it. I like the music. I think that the song is really catchy. I mean, it's not like my favorite Nintendo song ever, of course, but I mean, when I pull up the game, everybody knows that I'm playing ARMS, and after the game, my whole house is like humming do 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 do, you know, the theme song. So I think it's really catchy, and that's what they were going for. But I do think that some of the other songs could have used a little bit of more variety, because you often hear the main ARMS theme in the other stages.
Every song is the same thing.
Right.
So
Just with like some slight variation. I think they could have done a better job at creating individual themes for the characters in their stages. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Sound direction itself is not bad. It's fairly good. I mean, there's a lot of sounds going on in the world, and the characters are making odd noises and whatnot. And so I feel like for a fighting game, like that they did very well in that direction. However, I do think it suffers from a lack of music, and I personally love the ARMS opening theme. I think that is a great get it out of my head kind of thing. No, I really enjoy it, and it's catchy.
My main theory with that theme is that you hear it so much in the game, it's kind of ingrained into you. It's not even just the title screen theme. The whole game plays that theme over and over again.
Right, no, it's true. I mean, and there's like Dave was saying, there's variations of it, but the melody is pretty much still there. It's odd that they would go for that. And I feel like they had these different stages, and they all look different for the most part, and yet they don't try to make different music. I mean,
what I
sure,
find
you got
is weird.
Min stage that is Chinese and whatnot, but I don't know. Sorry.
The Ribbon Girl level, it says that she's trying to debut her album on the stage, but the song is the same song as the title sequence. So either Ribbon Girl wrote the title sequence song, or she's stealing.
No, she didn't write the title sequence song.
She's stealing from someone, because she literally sings the melody line in that song.
No, she does.
And
see, Skylar, that's part of the lore that you're not quite understanding. It's that the music in the ARMS world, the melody is always the same. It's just different variations on that. They can't. They
can only change the lyrics.
It's
That's
physically impossible to.
There's no lyrics.
Deviate from that melody. They can do different harmonies or have a different type of instrumentation, but they can't get away from. Whoa!
That's so unfortunate. Anyway, also the sound effects.
That's not real. I was kidding.
The sound effects are also borrowed from other Nintendo games in most cases. Like a lot of the sound effects are borrowed from Splatoon. Like if you've noticed the popping noises for some of the bombs and things.
Oh, it sounds like a blaster.
Exactly. It sounds like Splatoon. And they also took a couple sound effects from Mario and various other places. But it's like that's where I have the biggest gripe with the music and sound, is that the sound, it's not really completely unique to the game, and the music is the same theme over and over again. Which I think,
now that you mention it, there were some moments where I thought I heard it before. At the same time, I guess I don't have all I can't compare all the Nintendo games to it, so I guess it wasn't too noticeable for me.
mm-hmm.
But I could totally see why that would be disappointing, though.
Yeah, and a lot of the font is even taken from the Splatoon font. Just some of the writing and things, which is it's interesting. But
the font?
Yeah, some of the font, the letters.
Really?
Which it's interesting, but there's a lot of the sound effects I've noticed, and that's just my biggest gripe with the game is probably the music and sound. I don't think they went all out as they probably could have.
Yeah.
I mean, the theme is catchy, sure. It's not my favorite theme, like David was saying. But to hear it over and over again kind of gets old to me. I'm a person who likes variety in his themes. So,
fair enough, but I'm the guy who can play Supersonic Racing like on repeat all the freaking
It's time for
time.
Supersonic Racing. Gotta keep right off the ground.
Sonic Force's Supersonic Racing variations, whole time confirmed.
Yeah. So if it's catchy and it's really good song, in theory I could listen to it on repeat over and over and over again, especially if I'm really feeling it. Yeah. But I do crave that stage variety in music, and it's just not here.
See, just coming from somebody who writes a lot of music, to me it just kind of lazy. But I mean, it's whatever. If you like it, it's working. So there. I mean, I guess that works.
When I definitely associate the game with the music with arms. So it's at least that song with arms. So at least they got that going for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to bring up sound direction with you guys, because I knew Skylar would have some thoughts and perspective on that, being the music major that he is. So thanks for that. Let's go ahead and wrap things up with our ARMS review. Let's give some of our final thoughts and like scores that we'd give the game. I'll go ahead and go first, since I wrote our site review for ARMS last week. Yeah, I gave the game an 8.3 because I really like the gameplay. I think that it has very strong core mechanics. The visuals look really great. I love the character designs, even if Springman, I got the name right, James, is a little bit bland. I do like the sound. I think the sound works, even though it's not super great, and the difficulty scales pretty well and can get fairly challenging, and is great for scaling and stuff. But I'd give the game an 8.3 out of 10 overall. I really, really enjoy the game, and it's a game that you should definitely pick up. What would you guys give the game, or what are some of your final thoughts?
I agree that it's a game that you should pick up if you're into those Wii boxing type games, and if you have kids in your home, they will love this game. As for ranking, I thought about this. I think I give it a 7.5, maybe a 7.6, just because it's not for the lack of content per se. It's that the ability of the game to hold my attention for a long period of times is just not there, especially with Grand Prix. Grand Prix suffers a lot, I think, and I know I feel like that's not the main mechanic of the game, and that's supposed to be the online play. But I feel like a fighting game should be especially a fighting game, should be just as fun playing by yourself than it is with someone else.
I absolutely agree.
I think that's where ARMS struggles a lot, is that it's tremendous online, tremendous with playing someone next to you on the couch, but by yourself, it is a slugfest if you go more than 30 minutes.
Yep.
So that's my review.
Yeah, I was thinking about an 8 personally.
Oh, okay.
Just because I only play it with the other people. So, but for I think it's a good game. I don't think it's the end all be all game you must have on your Switch, but I mean, it is fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
Wow, that's surprising. Oh, go ahead.
It's not Split. I mean, I like Splatoon more, but this game is also good. If you like fighting games, go ahead and play it. Especially if you have friends, it's a good time with friends.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I was thinking it's surprising. Usually I'm not the one with the lowest score. Wow. I mean, it doesn't not like it matters. The score is just a number, but
right.
It's just funny. But I mean, I could easily give the game an 8 too. It's still a good game, but in my mind, for me personally, I felt like it was like a 7.5, 7.6 kind of game.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And that's good. We should be real with the scores that we give the games. I think that helps give us credibility as journalists.
Totally. Man, I want to get. I do really want to get more credibility as a journalist, but obviously that comes with time. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say I titled my review "Arms is the first true Switch game." Like, I mean, in a literal and I guess review sense. I don't know what I'm saying. It is the first like Nintendo game that launched on the Switch that is for Switch. I mean, other than snipper clips and all that stuff, but
1-2 Switch.
Yeah, 1-2 Switch doesn't really
excuse
count.
me, David.
Well, it counts. It's the number 2 top-selling game. It counts.
All right.
How could you forget 1-2 Switch?
It outsold ARMS.
All right. My thought is it's the first true Switch game, like a game that should be in your Switch library because it's just fun. But
because it's only on Switch.
Yeah, sure.
No, I see what you're saying, David. Sure, there is 1-2 Switch, but I think ARMS is probably like the first still like creative, still unique game to come to the Switch that is a big title. Obviously, Snipper Clips was a unique game in itself, but it wasn't necessarily a huge title. And 1-2 Switch is more of a tech demo. So this is definitely the first game that is exclusively for the Switch.
It's kind of funny though. I probably played Snipper Clips about as much as ARMS right now.
I still haven't gotten Snipper Clips. I think I'll buy it and try to get someone to play with me. It's a game that I don't want to play by myself.
I don't think it'd be very fun.
Yeah.
Moving the two controllers together
exactly
with your fingers.
It's like
having it set up weird.
Forever Alone face.
Well, I don't know, James. In Awesome Games Done Quick this summer, last week, one guy he did a speed run of the co-op mode of Portal 2 by himself on his computer, and it was ridiculous how good he was. But he was a speedrunner and practiced that. But anyway.
All right, so I'm just gonna practice. So I'm gonna do the whole campaign by myself in Snipper Clips.
Snipper Clips 100% co-op.
Yeah, I'll go to
mode,
Summer Games Done Quick
with Snipper Clips.
With Snipper Clips. Actually, I bet a lot of people would watch that.
Yeah, probably. That'd be really fun.
But I'm not gonna put time and effort into that. No way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's finish up our discussion. We're at about an hour, and it's been a good episode. I've really liked talking about ARMS with you guys today.
Yeah, it's been a lot of things I needed to get off my chest about it.
Yeah. So again, I give the game an 8.3. James, what do you give it again?
7.6.
And Skylar?
8.
An 8. So about an 8 is our average for the game. We definitely think that you should go pick it up if you're interested in the game in the slightest. It's a lot of fun. And it's a great game. So before we end the episode, we'd just like to thank you for joining us. Your support definitely means a ton. We wouldn't do this if we didn't have our listeners, and you guys mean a ton. We want to give a shout out to our patrons, Chris and Chase, for their amazing and continual support. None of this would be done without their help and your help from the listener. If you want to join with them in supporting the podcast, be sure to head over to patreon.com/Nintensity. Again, that's patreon.com/Nintensity. And there you can find a bunch of cool rewards for just giving us a little bit of money each month to help us keep the show going and, get it out to you guys. That's it for this episode of the Virtual Boys podcast. Thanks for tuning in this week. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes. We'd also remind you to check out our website at Nintensity.com, where you can find shows, notes, news, and much more. This week's show notes are at Nintendo.city/EP59. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, you good people.